Hey, how you doing? This is John and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're looking at All-Star Comics 58, the Super Squad. This is the first appearance of Power Girl. Power Girl has always been a character that I've always just liked. And I love this old-fashioned look up here. They put the roster on top: Dr. Fate, the Flash, Wildcat, Star Spangled Kid, a character that I've never really liked, Power Girl, and Robin, featuring the Justice Society of America. I love the Justice Society. I love Earth 2. I don't know what it is. I just love these old costumes. This is my favorite Green Lantern. That red, green, and that cape with what is like lavender on the other side. And that Flash costume is amazing. And nobody can argue that Doctor Strange with that helmet, Dr. Fate, that helmet is outstanding. And I love Wildcat. So I could point at them all day long and say I love them. I didn't realize until I took this comic out now to check it out that this cover was drawn by Mike Grell. And I love Mike Grell. He does Warlord. He did the Longbow Hunters. I just love Mike Grell. What a great talent. Let's get a gun. You know, guys, let's get a gun, right? Daisy. Oh, this is a BB gun. Okay, we'll shoot your eye out, the kid. All right, let's look at the indicia over here. What year is this? 1975. Okay, there we go. The All-Star Super Squad. Roll call: Flash, Dr. Midnight, Wildcat, Dr. Fate, Green Lantern, Star Spangled Kid, Robin, and Power Girl. Okay, Jerry Conway, writer and editor. Rick Estrada, who I'm sorry to say I'm not too familiar with, and Wally Wood is the inker. Editor is also Jerry Conway and Paul Levitz. That's all I know. But the cover artist, I really didn't realize it was Mike Grell. And look at that Hawkman costume. I've always liked that too. Again, I just love the Justice Society. So now they recognize like some nefarious plot, and they do what the Justice Society needs to do. They break up into squads. You know, the whole world is being attacked in various places. So let's break up and deal with it. I just have to laugh at sometimes how they divide the team. So they're all going off to deal with it. So now here we have in Seattle, ladies and gentlemen, reintroducing the Star Spangled Kid. So he has this cosmic rod that he's flying with, you know, and it's this. I don't. Later on, when I started, I first got into this character in the Infinity Incorporated. I love that Infinity Incorporated series. And he had a cosmic belt. This was Starman's rod. So I don't know. Can anybody fill me in on the detail, the trivia of all this? But he's flying around. And this is Seattle. So he sees a guy in costume over here. And, you know, guns, hijinks. And this at this period of DC history, a lot of these JSA guys, they have like vaguely defined and therefore whatever power is needed. So he waves his round, melts the gun, and wallops the guy, just beating the crap out of him. This, oh my god, oh my god, this could be your head. This is Vincent Price's apple sculptures. You take apples. I remember this. Oh my god. I remember this. I'm laughing, guys. I'm sorry I got distracted by the. Oh, and it's by Mort Drucker. He does the art. Excellent. From Mad Magazine fame. Okay, let me focus. I was taken by surprise. But this commercial was on all the time during. You know, I'd rush home from school, and like from 3 o'clock to like. From like 3 o'clock to like 6 o'clock, there'd be cartoons and sometimes like hokey TV shows, and this Vincent Price commercial would come on doing his spooky voice, and you take an apple and you put it in this dehydrator, and it just like over a course of a couple of days the apple would just dehydrate, and then you put these wigs on it and make fake voodoo shrunken heads. What a morbid toy, a dehydrated apple. It was great. Oh, here's the $6 Million Man. I had this. I did not have the shrunken head voodoo doll maker. That's Brian Bow. I bet you Brian Bow did. Brian Bow, if you see this video, let me know. Did you have the Vincent Price voodoo head shrinking apple kit? I don't know why. That's just amusing me. I'm going to be laughing all night long thinking about that. I had this toy. This was a lot of fun. I talk a lot about like obsessiveness, and you know, one of my pet peeves is when like my obsessive OCD is kicking. I do not have OCD. But I do recognize that I have obsessive-like habits. So, but I got this toy and I loved it, but I stopped playing with it because its scale didn't fit in with my other toys. You know, as the years went by, toys got to be a smaller scale. So at this point, it was only a year away from Star Trek. So this probably had a year in the limelight. I don't know why I'm still laughing at that Apple thing. I played with this a lot. And it was huge. This was like 12 feet. This was like 12 inches tall. So this was like a foot tall. But then Star Wars toys came out. And Star Wars toys were 3.5 inches. So they were tiny. So that I couldn't play with Steve Austin. I didn't care if I mixed the genres with my toys. But they had to be in the same scale. So Micronauts could mix with Star Wars toys. But he was too big. So he just kind of slowly, became one of those sad toys that didn't get played with anymore. So what is he doing? He's moping around. There's nothing for him to do, and earthquakes are attacked. Oh, he's moping around because he's lost in time. They don't explain that for another couple of issues, but he was a World War II hero, and he missed his stripes. So the gimmick with him was he was a kid, and his sidekick was the adult. So wow, they subverted expectations, and some sort of temporal accident brought him into the modern times, and now there's earthquakes. So this woman is about to get destroyed by falling rocks. He's taking them out. And now Hawkman and Dr. Midnight are going to deal with earthquakes. What are they going to do about earthquakes? I just love the division of labor. Quick, we don't know what's going on. Let's take the two weakest guys with limited powers and put them on a team. And we'll put just look at the division. See if I'm crazy. But Dr. Midnight, what is Dr. Midnight's powers? He's blind. And he's less powerful Daredevil. He's less powerful. And what does Hawkman do? He's an athletic guy who could fly. So two basically non-powered guys are dealing up. Good thing Star Spangled Kid was on the case. So they're watching Star Spangled, and I like what they're saying. This is just making me laugh. I like what they're saying. Let's hold back and see what this kid could do. What are you going to do against an earthquake? What are you going to do? And you know what? Go run around and see if you can save anybody. It's an earthquake. What are you watching? The obviously the one person who can protect himself. So there's a satellite, and this is Brainwave. I dig this costume. Brainwave is causing earthquakes. Here's All-Star Comics. This is the letters page. Roy Thomas. So Roy Thomas was mailed an advanced copy of this. Oh, I should talk about this. All-Star Comics 1 to 57 came out, I think, in the 40s until the 50s, and then it was changed to All-Star Western. Yeah, I think it was All-Star Western at 58. This is continuing All-Star Comics. So this is the first time this comic has been coming out in like 20 years. So they mailed advanced copies to, All-Star Western. There you go. To Roy Thomas, they gave it to him because he was a famous letter hack in the 60s. I mean, also keep in mind he was working for Marvel at this time. And I think very soon after this, he came to DC. Jerry Belts, these are famous letter hacks from the 60s, before my time. And Batman, you disappoint me so. Why are you have anything to do with fruit pies? Don't you know that they are disgusting? They are disgusting, Batman. So here's advertisement, Black Hawk. And I don't know, I just dig this costume. It's kind of superheroic, it's wasted on a villain. And what powers does he have? He has vaguely defined mental powers so that he could do anything. And what do we have here? They're in South Africa, and this is adult Robert Grayson. He's acting as an ambassador to the UN. And what happens? Explosions. And what does he do? He jumps out in his... I don't know if this is the first appearance of this Robin costume. Could anybody help me out with that? So this was the... you know how they make a toy and then they make a cheap version of the toy? Well, the Evel Knievel Stunt Rider was the toy, and this was the cheap version. If you showed up with the cheap version, the Wild Riders, instead of the Evel Knievel, then, a pox upon you. A pox upon you and your woman. And here, advertisements for some comics. The Super Spectacular Holiday Treat. Remember, back then, DC was putting out more than just superhero comics. Rudolph and the fun stuff. The Super 6, Matchbox Cars. Okay, guys, let's start the debate. Matchbox Cars or Hot Wheels? Which are the ones? I think Matchbox were the premier one. So look at this. They divided up the labor between Hawkman and Dr. Midnight, and now it's Dr. Fate, who's basically a god, and Green Lantern, who's like a demigod, and they're trying to stop the explosions. You know, so that he's using the Mystic powers. He's using Great to just stomp on stuff and knock out, you know, they're plugging up the holes. These holes, there's explosions, and now the holes are releasing like toxic gas. So he's plugging the holes, and Robin is knocked out. Jim Lee's, look at this, drawn by Jack Kirby. I always wanted these as a kid. But they would have suffered the same fate. I never got them because they would have been a foot tall. Oh, well, they could have interacted with Steve Austin. Oh, there you go. Could have had buddies to interact with. But, you know, 7 kids. It wasn't like we had a lot of money for toys. And they're rescuing Robin. And what's going on? The pressure built up, pulled out his plug. And now they're rushing to stop this volcano. Oh, and where is this now? I forget where it is, but here we got the Flash and Wildcat. Wildcat is like being taken along in his slipstream, and Flash is just running around. Oh, this is China. I forget where in China. Oh, Peking. That's right, Peking. So he's running around, and putting out the volcano. He makes a ditch just so that the lava doesn't hurt anybody. Wildcat does absolutely nothing. And here comes Power Girl. First appearance of Power Girl. She just comes flying. She's like grabbing the lava and like riding it and surfing it. She's having a blast. And, you know, here's some advertisements. And then here it is, the first shot of Power Girl. Now, legend has it that Wally Wood, the inker, increased the size of her boobs just because he wanted to goof around with the Comics Code Authority, and that became her thing. She became the big booby girl. So out of all the superheroes, it's understood that Power Girl is the most endowed. So she's, you know, here comes the Red Army. So they're about to take care of it, but she just stomps. And she says, you might know my cousin. My cousin's Superman. So she's the Supergirl analog on Earth too. So even though the original Superman didn't have a female counterpart until later, it's also implied that, not implied, it's actually said that she's been operating in secret for years. So she's actually more experienced than Supergirl. And where Supergirl is all pure and nice, she's kind of has a rough edge on her. So that's why I like her. She's like sassy Supergirl. And then they're flying. She takes out the volcano. And now they're going, next issue, they're going to deal with Brainwave himself. And then we got this cool art. And look at these. I would have loved this. I didn't get into model. Oh, and here we go. Here's the Evel Knievel toy. I was about to say I never got into models. I should have got into models. I did for a short period of time. Look at this. There you go. That's the evil. That's the good toy. You didn't want that Wild Rider cheap knockoff. That's like GoBots. Okay, so there you go. This is All-Star Comics Super Squad. I thought this was a blast. I really like this, and I'm really glad I looked it up because you see there it says Grell there, but I never noticed it. And I found this in a dollar bin, a comic book dollar bin. Great shape. As I drop it on the ground, great shape except for this little seam over here. I thought this was a water stain, but that's just shading. Yeah, I got it in a dollar bin. What do you want me? Yep. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. See ya. Bye-bye.